as they test the new rolling stock on the Mid Cornwall Metro. We're on the Par to Newquay branch line, now integral part of the new Mid Cornwall Metro. So instead of services being 2 hourly or so, it's down to an hour between Par and Newquay. So it really gives connectivity for that. Links in then to the trains which will go all the way down through Mid Cornwall down to Falmouth.
A train every hour going to places that are useful will be great for local people to open up opportunities to access training, jobs, education, etc. But also will be great in terms of getting people out of their cars who are coming on holiday, because you can get around once you're here. Next year they'll be extended onwards to run as through trains to Falmouth.
The line has been upgraded in locations, so like at Gosmore we've now got a pass and loop, and that's a brand new piece of track which has gone in that gives us that capacity then for two trains to pass each other, that then naturally allows us to increase the level of service that we see on the line. Not only has new track gone in, we've seen changes with the new signalling system which goes all the way through to Par. So where we used to have token systems and trains stopping to exchange tokens, we now do our train detection via axle counters, which speeds up the train. We've brought back into use the new platform 2 there at Newquay, so that's great news, because again we need that second platform in order to allow that capacity, because you're going to see now 17 trains like on a Monday to Friday basis happening from the May 17 timetable change, and that will then see those direct services in the summer that will take you through to London at the same time. So that extra platform is vital to the delivery of that change.
The line was stripped back about 40 years ago, and it became basically a long siding for the last 20-25 minutes of the journey, which meant that you could only have a 2-hourly local service on the line, so a very restricted local service. And on summer Saturdays, when you were running the through trains to and from London, you weren't able to have a local service at all because there wasn't the room on the line. Now, for many, many years, basically I've been at the partnership 28 years, for all of that time, local people have been saying, look, how do we improve the train service on the Newquay line? And they've talked about putting in a second platform at Newquay and the passing loop around where the old passing loop was at St Dennis Junction. Because those were the keys to making a really big step change. Now, over the years, we in Cornwall and Great Western have made improvements to the service, but the service is still only 2 hourly. And this is the massive step change.
Cornwall is a peninsula. We are not a sort of one large town with villages around it. We're a whole series of towns all the way that need connecting, and buses are part of that solution, trains are part of that solution, absolutely investing in our roads and highways, and we do that too. But if we can provide sustainable public transport options that work for communities, then that's a really great step forward. And we've seen that in usage on some of the other branch lines, which are very popular. So investment in this part of Cornwall is helpful, but it is, recognise obviously that other parts of Cornwall that the railway doesn't get to, and that's why we have bus network to all the way from West Cornwall up into North and East Cornwall. So we're working with local communities to try to provide the options that work for them. And this investment here, it's been a long time coming. It's a big project, lots of physical changes, signalling changes, and now the new trains that are being refitted and coming to us as well. But it is really important that we get investment in Cornwall and we don't see all that money just going to other parts of the country.
These things don't happen without that support from government, the support from the council, the vision and that whole strategy about what we want to do in increased services. That connectivity for people cannot be done without everybody working together.
If you look at the last decade, the amount of funding that Cornwall Council has secured to Nerve Park and Ride, contributions to our depot upgrade at Long Rock, the sleeper refurbishment, the sleeper lounges, as well as the mainline signalling that allowed half-hourly services in 2019. That partnership, that trust, that bringing together of the knowledge and skills gives us the confidence and the knowledge that we can make these things happen. And Mid Cornwall Metro is a great demonstration of that. Cornwall Council secured the funding, both initial development funding and then secured the levelling up funding, over £50 million that has paid for this. At the same time, Network Rail has delivered it and has funded and delivered other critical works that were needed on the Newquay line anyway, rebuilding a viaduct, for example, that that was in need of life extension. And obviously we bring the timetable, we bring the trains, these additional trains. We've secured Class 175s support Mid Cornwall Metro, Metro West and other schemes, but also add resilience in our fleet. And the train crew, and generally, bring it together at the end. So it's all about partners bringing their skill sets, but when you've been doing it as long as we have, it can be really, really effective.
It's going to be great. I think it's going to be great for local people. It's going to be great for local people, not just in terms of them travelling, taking a fresh look at the railway and deciding to use it, but also in terms of it being easier to reach Newquay by train. There'll be more day trippers, there'll be more tourists who will visit Newquay by train, which obviously spending their money in local businesses, which is obviously good for the economy, good for jobs, and that's all great.